the council meeting. If you would please stand, Councilman Flores is going to lead us in the flag salute.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Our first proclamation is National Mental Health Awareness Month. I'd like to call up Angie Garcia, City of Chino Community Services Parks and Recreation Coordinator. I'd like to call up Kiani Cummings, NAMI Greater Los Angeles County Pomona Valley Education Coordinator. And the proclamation reads, whereas on behalf of the citizens of Chino, we recognize the month of May 2024 as National Mental Health Awareness Month. The City of Chino, Chino Valley Unified School District, and Healthy Chino Coalition recognize that mental health issues can affect all people. Serious mental illnesses are more common than cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. And according to Mental Health America, 21 million American adults and 3.7 million young people are experiencing severe mental depression. Misunderstandings exist about many mental illnesses, and our social culture often wrongly imposes stigma on these conditions. The City of Chino recognizes the importance of addressing both mental and physical health concerns as being essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and asking for help is a sign of strength and the first step towards achieving mental wellness. The City of Chino offers mental health services to youth, adults, and families, and the City of Chino partners with the National Alliance for Mental Illness, or NAMI, Pomona Valley to provide free support groups to educate, inspire hope, and decrease the stigma surrounding mental health issues. And whereas the City of Chino encourages you to reach out to your support network, a friend, family member, teacher, or counselor, now therefore I, Eunice Ulloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as National Mental Health Awareness Month in the City of Chino and encourage each citizen to continue to be compassionate and understanding of the importance that mental health services provide. Ladies?
Thank you, Mayor Ulloa and members of the council. I'm very appreciative to the council for supporting our services for over 30 years, allowing us to provide low-fee counseling to the community for such a long time. And we know that mental health can be really challenging and difficult to cope with. And so with that being said, the message I want to deliver today is that none of us here are alone, right? So at the end of the day, we all need somebody to talk to. You can find us at the Carolyn Owens Community Center on the second floor, where we have over 30 counselors who are ready to listen and serve and support you in any way that you need. So please give us a call. You can call us at 909-334-3259. You can also visit our website at cityofchino.org/counseling. And with that being said, I'm proud to have our partner here with NAMI, Kiani Cummings, and she's going to share a little bit about her services as well.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's always an honor to be brought in to accept this proclamation, and just knowing that the City of Chino is committed to servicing folks wherever with mental illness, and even the people that are supporting them, and that's what NAMI does. So we provide education, classes, and support groups for folks living with mental illnesses, and also for the family members that are supporting them. We also partner with schools and all kinds of entities throughout the community just to kind of cultivate those mental health awareness conversations so that folks understand how to recognize signs and symptoms, and when you do recognize those signs and symptoms, how do you reach out and get support? NAMI is one of those resources. All of our services are free, always free to the community, and so we are happy to help, reach out, support, come volunteer, whatever your time allows. We're happy to service people and bring folks from the community in, so thank you so much.
Thank you both for being here. I don't think there's anyone in this world that hasn't suffered at one time or another from depression or something. So please, if you know anyone who is suffering, please reach out. Don't let them go through things all by themselves. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, oops. Please forget.
Okay.
Okay, next we have a very special presentation, recognition of the 2024 Hall of Fame Award recipient. This prestigious award is presented to individuals who have made a major and lasting contribution to the development and progress of the city of Chino, and who have been outstanding examples of leadership and serve in a manner that engenders honor and respect from a historical perspective for their participation in the community. Tonight, we will be inducting a new member into the City of Chino's Hall of Fame. The award presented this evening will be on permanent display in the Chino Community Building. I'd like to call up members of the Chino Valley Historical Society present tonight to assist with the presentation. Tonight, we will recognize Glenn E. Duncan. I'd like to call up members of the Duncan family that are here this evening. Cindy, family, please come up. Linda Flathers, who's the president, and Steve Halstead, first vice president of the Chino Valley Historical Society, will read the award. Linda?
Hi. Thank you, Mayor and the City Council. It gives us great pleasure as the Chino Valley Historical Society to give this Hall of Fame award to Glenn Duncan this year. So I'll continue. Glenn Duncan was born on October 7th, 1947 in East Los Angeles. He attended La Puente High School in 1965. He married his wife, Cindy, on July 31st, 1981. Glenn and Cindy were members of the Inland Community Church. He was a business owner and operator of GTS Financial Services. Glenn's life mission was to serve his community, and I have to say, I knew Glenn, and I had the opportunity to work with him in the community, and he was just great to work with. In an interview with Chino Champion in 2014, he remarked that 60% of his life was spent volunteering. My goal is to work less so that I can volunteer more, he said. Glenn lived in the Chino Valley for 40 years. He moved to Chino in 1982, was chairman of the Chino Rural Fire Protection District, and won a seat on the Chino City Council in 1992. He also represented the San Bernardino County 4th District on private council and was a board member of the West Valley Mosquito and Vector Control. He was a longtime treasurer of the Rancho del Chino Rotary Club, as well as two-time president. He was a finance director for the Chino Valley YMCA, leading several campaigns, and was a board member of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. Glenn played a huge role in the revitalization of Chino Neighborhood House in 2004, and that's how I worked with Glenn on the Chino Neighborhood House. He was committed to growing an organization that provides families in need of food, clothing, and essential necessities. As president of Chino Neighborhood House, he established the annual holiday Christmas party and toy distribution for families in the Chino community. He started the annual fireworks booth that became the organization's key fundraiser for the Christmas event.
Glenn served as a Chino City Council member for 25 years, attended over 600 council meetings and countless civic meetings. He retired on May 16, 2017. During his lifespan, Glenn received recognition for his involvement in many service groups. He was named the Champion's Outstanding Citizen in 2014. He was the 2023 recipient of the Spirit of Achievement Award. Glenn's unwavering dedication to the community has made Chino a better place. His remarkable service as a Chino Council member, involvement in regional panels, and leadership in organizations like the Chino Neighborhood House have inspired many. We honor Glenn's exceptional commitment to public service. He loved Chino so much, his license plate read, to love Chino. Yeah. Glenn passed away on August 29th of 2023 at the age of 75. At the City Council meeting on February 6, 2024, Council adopted the name Glennie Duncan Park as the name of the new park site to be part of the Town Center Block project in the preserve.
Cindy, I'd like you to introduce your family and then please say a few words.
Okay. I'm going to say one thing first. I don't know if I can. Sorry. Glenn didn't do anything to get recognized. He did it for the love of this city and the people and the community. He never would have expected any of this, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you. This is my oldest son, Jason. He's the art director for Azusa Pacific University. I'm very proud of that. My new daughter-in-law, Mindy, and she's a teacher, and she's been teaching substituting in Chino. Oh, sorry. Travis, who's a Chino Valley firefighter. My daughter-in-law, Nicole. My grandsons, Matthew and Jacob. And all my friends that came, I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry. Probably not.
Everybody gets camera shy.
I know.
Well, we'd love to present you with this beautiful award. And this will also hang at the historical building or in the community building for everyone who goes there to read. Thank you all very much for being here this evening. You're welcome. Glenn was a very, very integral part of our community and made a great difference. Thank you. Thank you all.
Oh, it's mine. I thought this was...
No, this is for you. Cindy, would you also like this picture?
Sure.
Okay.
You want me to take it now?
You could.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and take it. You're welcome. Next, we have recognition of City of Chino's Teen Advisory Committee. The Teen Advisory Committee, or TAC for short, is comprised of bright Chino residents who are students in the Chino Valley Unified School District. These teens give vital input on teen issues while promoting greater involvement of youth in the community. Since the beginning of the school year, TAC has accumulated 245 volunteer hours for volunteering at every citywide special event, youth sports game, Chino Youth Museum event, and more. During the year, TAC completed 2 service projects. The first service project was collecting donated food items that benefited Chino Neighborhood House, and the second service project was creating a mural that will be showcased at various city events. These future leaders are a true asset to our community, and their efforts should not go unrecognized. Tonight, we have certificates of appreciation for each of you, and I will also recognize our graduating seniors. I'd like to call up Brisa Sanchez, City of Chino Community Services, Parks, and Recreation Coordinator. Brisa? I will hand you the certificates and you can read them.
Okay, so first off, thank you, Mary Loa and City Council members for your continued support of our TAC program. I will go ahead and start calling our TAC members. So first, I have Elena Rosen, who also serves as our chairperson and is also a senior. Next, we have Amy Din, who serves as our vice chairperson and is also a senior.
Thank you.
Next, we have Bridget Moore, who serves as our secretary. Next, we have Kendall Baldrias, who is also a senior. Next, we have Enrico Hernandez, who is also a senior. Next, we have Neil Jatakia.
Take it he's not a senior.
No, he's not. Next, we have Aurora Moore. Oh, sorry. Next, we have Caricia Rojas. And finally, we have Jimena Tapia.
What a wonderful group of young people. Our future is in good hands. Would any of you like to say a few words? No? Anybody want to say? See, nobody wants to talk.
I can say something.
Yeah,
I could say something.
yes, please do.
So first and foremost, thank you guys for all of your hard work throughout the school year. Congratulations to all of the seniors who are going to go on to college and are going to go on to do great things. With that being said, we are losing 5 seniors, so applications are open, and if your kids may be interested, applications close on May 17th.
Okay, also on TAC, these are absolutely amazing kids. I don't think I've seen a group of kids work harder to make their community stronger. And I feel like that's really important for community. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that we are kind of the future of this community. So it's really important that we get involved. So yeah, if you do have kids that are going into 8th grade, high school, they're going into 8th grade, 7th grade, even earlier, they can always get involved in this group. And yeah, also thank you, Barista, so much for all your hard work.
Elena also just recently received a special award from Habitat for Humanity for all of her volunteerism with them. So congratulations to you as well. Let's give them another big hand. Thank you for being here. Our next award was for Mayor's Beautification Award for Mary and Michael Ragland of Letitia Way, but they were unable to attend this evening, so their awards will be forwarded to them, and I believe we are going to put a picture of their beautiful home on the screen. Prior to the council meeting, we did have a closed session. I would like to ask for the report out of that meeting from our city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and all those present. The city council met in closed session as announced by the mayor and held a discussion on the 2 items listed on the closed session portion of the agenda, beginning with the first item, conference with legal counsel, 1 item of anticipated litigation under the heading significant exposure to litigation. Following the discussion, the city council, by motion of council member Lucio, seconded by council member Burton, and approved unanimously, the city council authorized a settlement agreement with Bonadiman Water, Inc., for $115,000 in exchange for a full release and waiver of any future claims. And that settlement is for delay damages related to the Chino Mountain Avenue storm drain project. The next item is Item number 2, the City Council held a discussion on existing litigation, the matter of Stubby Bar versus City of Chino. City Council received an update, provided direction, and no further reportable action was taken. Thank you, Mayor.
No changes, Mayor.
Okay. Next on our agenda is public announcements under Bike Day. Join us for Bike Day on Saturday, May 11th from 7:30 to 11 o'clock a.m. at Ruben S. Ayala Park in Chino. Start the day with a community bike ride. Enjoy helmet giveaways, bike registrations, repairs, and obstacle course and kids activities. This family-friendly event, presented by Healthy Chino and the Chino Police Department, promises fun for all ages with a special family bike ride. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity to celebrate cycling with the community. For more details, please visit www.cityofchino.org/bike day. The American Legion Elmer C. Jertberg Post 299, in partnership with the City of Chino, invite you to attend our annual Memorial Day event. Join us on Monday, May 27th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Community Building, located at 5443 B Street, to honor the brave men and women who have sacrificed their lives for our freedom. For more information, please contact the Carolyn Owens Community Center at 909-334-3258. Next on the agenda is public comments. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council on items that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. Our first written request to speak is Pastor Charlie Wang from the Crosspoint Church. He's going to lead us in an invocation, so I invite all of those who would like to join us to please stand.
Good evening, Mayor Ulloa, Mayor Pro Tempore Comstock, Council Members Burton, Flores, and Lucille, City staff, and members of the community. My name is Charlie Wang, the pastor of the Chinese congregation at Crosspoint Church. It is my honor and privilege to be here tonight and serve our city and this council by praying on their behalf. So I want to invite you to join me in this moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude as we gather today for this city council meeting. We thank you for electing these council members to serve the people of our community. We pray that you would guide their hearts and minds as they engage in discussions and make decisions that affect our city. Lord, we lift up to you those who have come forward to receive recognition this evening, including Glenn Duncan, who you remember, the Hall of Fame Award recipient, and the members of the Teen Advisory Committee. We also thank you for the beautification efforts recognized tonight. May these individuals continue to inspire and uplift our community through their contributions. We ask for your wisdom and discernment as our council deliberates on matters of significance, from addressing mental health awareness to supporting local organizations and ensuring the welfare of our cities and infrastructure. Help them to make decisions that align with your will and serve the best interests of all our residents. We pray for unity among our council members and all who are present today. May our actions and words reflect your love, justice, and truth. We also lift up to you those who need healing and comfort in our city, especially during National Mental Health Awareness Month. May your peace and presence be with them, and may we be a supportive and compassionate community for them. In all we do, may we seek to honor you and serve our city with integrity and humility. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Charlie. Okay. Next written request to speak is Mr. Todd Corbin. He's our new general manager for Chino Basin Water Master. Hi, Todd. Haven't seen you for a while.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of council. It's my pleasure and honor to come before you this evening to introduce myself. I appreciate the invitation from your Public Works Director, Ms. Lee, to come this evening to introduce myself. I was selected to serve as the general manager for Chino Basin Water Master. Water Master itself is an organization, an agency that helps to manage the local groundwater basin over 200 square miles across this region, from Pomona across the foothills, down south here through Chino Hills, Chino, southern parts of Ontario, all the way over to Fontana, a really significant basin in Southern California. And if you really think about what's happening in California water, the use and the effective use of groundwater basins is an integral part of our solution to California's water crisis as we move forward with climate change and other challenges. So I'm honored to serve as general manager. Mayor, you and I sat through many long meetings and negotiations over the years. I had the opportunity to work professionally in the Inland Empire for many years, Cucamonga Valley Water District, as the general manager for the Harupa Community Services District, and then the last 5 years as the general manager for public utilities for the city of Riverside, serving both water and electric utilities. Coming back to water now to focus on effectively managing the groundwater basin, meeting the increasing challenges that we have in doing that, and working and collaborating with parties such as the city of Chino, as you've done over the years. And so I just wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to put a face with a name. There'll be many opportunities for us to either to serve together or to help support each other in collaboration for basin projects. And I thank you for the opportunity this evening.
Well, Todd, welcome aboard. You are a breath of fresh air, and I'm sure that Water Master is going to run very smoothly from now on.
Well, I appreciate
I'll hold you to that.
I appreciate those comments, and I appreciate the support of your water and environmental engineer, Mr. Crosley, over the years, who have really helped to share his knowledge and just his wisdom about what's happening across the basin. And so,
Well, you've worked with Dave for many years as well.
yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
Good evening. Thank you.
Okay, next, Chaffey College Foundation Golf Tournament. We have Heather Parsons that's going to address this evening. Heather?
Good evening, Mayor Ulloa, members of the council, and members of the city staff. It's my pleasure to address you tonight. Before I speak about the golf tournament, just a few updates at the Chino Chaffey campus. We had over 300 community members present at a student fashion show this Friday. It was a wonderful opportunity for about 25 students to design, sew, and display fashions for the community, and also a wonderful opportunity for some of our youth to see what we have available in terms of educational opportunities. I also wanted to let you know that we've had wonderful success with the hospitality management and culinary arts programs, and the foundation has been able to give $30,000 in scholarships to those students in those programs this year, which we're very proud of. Also, we have our very first Measure P building coming online, as you know, in Chino. We anticipate construction will be complete in the fall, and we will be opening our doors, if all goes well, in January of 2025. So we're very excited to welcome new students into the building. I wanted to finish with a request of City Council and the community at large to consider supporting the Chaffey College Foundation Golf Tournament that is taking place on May 20th. And these funds that we raise support scholarships. It supports student emergency grants. More than 80% of our students qualify for financial aid, and 2 in 5 report either housing or food basic needs emergencies in the past 12 months. So the work that we do with the golf tournament is critical to supporting student success. I'm going to go ahead and leave some flyers, if that would be okay with you. And thank you for your time, and thank you for supporting education in the Chino Valley.
Absolutely, and thank you for being here. Heather, would you please very briefly say what subjects are going to be held in that brand new beautiful building?
We will be housing a lot of health sciences. Our nursing program will be going in there. We're also going to be working with some of our faculty and student offices. Really, one of the things that this building will enable us to do is to give students an opportunity to build community together in an academic setting building. As you know, right now, the buildings are a little bit further apart, and we're really rocking and rolling with some wonderful things in nursing and some VR, virtual reality opportunities. You can actually put on the goggles and feel a patient breathing. You can feel the water as you wash your hands, and it's going to be a tremendous training tool in Chino.
Now that's scary. I'm
It's
sorry,
really
but
cool.
That's scary. Okay, it might be cool to you, it's scary to me. Thank you,
you.
Melissa. Okay, next we have Melissa Campani from Supervisor Hagman's office.
Well, good evening, Mayor Ulloa, council members, staff, and community members. We've got a lot of good events coming up that Supervisor Hagman has asked me to share with our residents tonight. The first one is coming up tomorrow. We're out of time. So we need to let all of our family members and our loved ones know that there is going to be a very nice large-size job fair and expungement event tomorrow. Supervisor Hagman's office will be hosting this event. It's for residents in collaboration with the San Bernardino County Workforce Development Department, the law offices of the Public Defender, Ontario International Airport, and the City of Ontario. Attendees, while there, will have the chance to network with a range of employers and have access to resources such as the Public Defender, preschool services, veteran affairs, transitional assistance, and others during the event. So this event will be taking place, like I say, it is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The address is 1940 Moore Way, and that is in Ontario, and that is at the old airport terminal, if you recall the old airport, which I miss. I'm probably the only one. And they call it Terminal 1, I believe, is what they call that terminal. So it's a nice big location. We'll have a lot of employers. And let's see, I gave you the address. And there is, if you can register, they are asking for registration still at this point. And it is wvhv0805.eventbrite.com. So we do look forward to helping as many constituents as we can. So if you know of anybody, please send them out tomorrow. That would be terrific. The next event coming up is in June the 5th. This is a wonderful event. This is Supervisor Hagman's annual summer open house. And in front of his office, which is located nearby in Chino Hills, the address is 14010 City Center Drive in Chino Hills. And Supervisor Hagman asked that you join him for fun, food, and access to regional resources and information. Several county departments will be there in attendance with their booths. So I know that many people have a lot of questions about the county and they really don't know where to start. So this is a very good opportunity. And we also have food being provided by the Chino Valley Professional Firefighters. So on this event also, it's free. The events are always free, but we do ask that you RSVP to supervisorhagman.eventbrite.com. And I don't know if I mentioned the time, it will be 5 to 7 p.m. So we look forward to lots of good events going on. The library, the bookmobile is going to be there, children and family services, aging and adult services, and the list goes on and on. I do have flyers. And to bring us to Chino's very finest event, which I know that our citizens here in Chino absolutely love, is the document shredding event. And this event is hosted by Supervisor Hagman in conjunction with the City of Chino, which is very appreciated. This is going to be taking place Saturday, June the 15th, 9 a.m. to noon. The event, of course, is free. There's no charge for the shredding. The location is right here, Chino City Hall, right out in the parking lot. And we do ask that you limit your shredding materials to 3 standard size filing boxes. If you have extra, I'm not saying we can't take it all, but at a later time, we want to reserve enough space to make sure everyone can get their items shredded. And let's see, you all know the address right here, 13220 Central Avenue in Chino. And please, once again, we do ask for pre-registration, no charge. It'll be Hagman Shred, SHRED, 0624, which is the day or the month and the year of the event, .eventbrite.com. Thank you very much. We hope to see everyone there.
You just have all kinds of info tonight. Okay, next we have Mr. Mike Cargill talking about Chino prisoner transfers.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. How are you? I'm Mike Cargill, and I'm the congressional candidate for this area, but I'm here today to speak with you about the recent transfer of death row inmates into the Chino prison. You see, in the Army, we always looked at things in terms of worst-case scenarios. Now, the communists at the Southern California News Group and the failing Daily Bulletin would call this a conspiracy theory. But we call it contingency planning. Plan for the worst and pray it doesn't happen. So if someone wanted to cause great harm to this area of the country, the first thing they would do would be to put level 4 prisoners in a level 2 facility, thereby guaranteeing a level 4 response in the event of a breach, because we would now have convicted killers roaming the surrounding neighborhoods. And this will demand everything that Chino, Ontario, Eastvale, and the sheriffs can throw at it. It'll also guarantee 2 additional things. First, it immediately becomes a force multiplier when breached. Tens, if not hundreds of inmates would join their liberators, who are the potentially tens of thousands of military-aged young men who have invaded our southern border over the last 4 years, and we must assume the worst of their intentions. Most importantly, though, this scenario becomes the ultimate diversion, because that's when an attack on the Ontario International Airport would occur. It's the jugular in this equation. When you consider the amount of freight and cargo that travel through that airport and into the surrounding warehouses, FedEx, UPS, Amazon, and then onto trucks and trains, it's massive. And if you can control that airport, you would just about be able to shut down the entire economy for the Southwest. So my hope is that we're training for just such a scenario. And should a breach of the prison occur, we've contemplated all contingencies. If I can be of any further help to you, please don't hesitate to call. You all have my business card. May God bless you, and may God bless all of us in the days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next speaker is Diane Boudreau, who also wants to address CIM.
I support this council. I support my mayor, Mayor Pro Tem. I support our city. I support our prison. I support our prison staff. I'm going to switch gears. YTS, Stark, it's coming up for whatever legislative changes that can be done to transfer jurisdiction from the state to the community. I would ask this council just to consider, it's just an idea, throwing something out there. It's in the public purse right now. It belongs to the public purse. I would advocate that it stays in the public purse via a $1 transfer of jurisdiction from State Department of Corrections to State Department of Education. We value our agricultural community. We value our agricultural roots. We value open space. Cal Poly Pomona already farms at CIM. They've been farming for years. It's nothing new. The tractors are out there. They do the crops. Density housing, development housing, it's not a developer's job to provide affordable housing. It's just not their job. Their job is to make money. Their job is to make a profit. Stack and pack is the quickest profit, but it's not their job to provide affordable housing. That's not what they're in the business for. Typically, affordable housing is subsidized housing via the county, whether it's San Bernardino County Housing Authority or Los Angeles County Housing Authority. That's subsidized housing. That's who provides. And Chino checks that box off very well. We do that. Vacancy rates with warehouses, we have plenty of thousands of square feet of vacancy rate for another warehouse, not to mention the 2 lanes that the trucks already clog up on the freeway, not to mention getting off of the 71, and you know what I'm talking about. Trucks even go into the 3rd lane now. But I'm just throwing it out there as we consider what to do with that property. It's open space. There's an airfield right across the street. You have some limitations that one will have to consider. We have tractor mural on the freeway. It's a beautiful tractor mural that they put in the stone. Let's keep the tractors on the field. It can become the Chino Annex, agricultural annex of Cal Poly. The Board of Trustees, some dialogue can take place. Negotiate what you want that to look like. But it's $1 transfer of jurisdiction from one state department to another state department. It gives us our agricultural roots. It maintains that. It maintains open space. But I'm just throwing it out there because they do that quite frequently in the north. If it's a state department and it's a state department and you can justify some use for it, you're going to get it. But one must have to reach out to Cal Poly trustees and see what that's going to look like. They seem like an easy fit only because they are already doing it. And they can configure it, what that vision would look like to truly have an agricultural part remain in our city. And in the meanwhile, I appreciate your work and I thank you for it. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay, those are the written requests that I have to speak. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Yes, sir. If you'll come to the lectern and state your name, please.
My name is Michael Gills. Greetings, Mayor and council meetings. Thank you. And thank you, Chino Police Department, for doing a great job at the car show. I was there. You guys did a good job. Mayor, I want to speak about the incident, what you guys are doing with the prison. And I think you guys are doing a great job by responding to some of the issues which you was talking about a month ago and everything. And thank you for keeping the public safe. I'm very alarmed with everything that's going on. And thank you so much for keeping up the good work and everything, especially with the newscast too. And I spoke to Councilmember Brian. He told me all about it and everything. And thank you. I really appreciate you guys' good leadership. It means a great deal for a guy like me to come in Chino and live here and everything. And thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council? Yes, ma'am. Come to the lectern, please, if you'll give us your name.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you to our officers and everybody that's interested in Chino and making it better. I'd also thank you for an issue I brought up at the end of last year with the street sweeper over in the preserves, and you guys fixed it, and it's wonderful. So I have one more issue I want to bring before you, and that is the semi-truck drivers that want to use our streets as their thoroughway. Bickmore mostly, Mill Creek, Rincon Meadows, all those little streets through there, West Preserve. I do hold a Class A license myself, so I respect them, but they need to respect us. They're not supposed to be on that road. They want to be on that road because they want to avoid the traffic on Pine, all right? Then they get on our roads. They don't fit. Basically, it's very hard for them to even turn from West Preserve to even come down Bickmore. I have plenty of pictures to prove it. They're making U-turns in areas when they find out that they're, going the wrong way. I mean, it's truck driving, dancing. They do very well. They get it, but they're hitting the curb. They're scarring the streets. They're speeding. No regard. And we have children walking up and down those streets, of course, on their phones, with their earphones in. They're not paying attention. They're just crossing the streets, and these guys are just driving, just barreling down the streets. These streets are pretty new, but they got potholes everywhere. And I live right where I can see them all day, every day. I have worked a little bit with the Chino police, and they've tried. We even had an electronic sign put out for a little while, and I understand it got hit by a drunk driver and damaged. We need to do more. Those signs need to be clear and visual. When they pull off a pine, they need to know. They know because look, typically when you drive trucks, you can just look at a neighborhood and see you don't belong there. You know what kind of streets you belong on and which you do not. So until they get caught and fined heavily, they're just going to keep doing it. I've called a couple of the trucking companies myself. They varied for a little while and then they came right back with a lot of attitude, you know. And when you have a construction site or something you're working on, you have a permit to be there for a short amount of time, and they route you. And they're just making their own routes in and out of there. It's not In-N-Out Burger, they're not doing it, but it's just various dump trucks, triples, doubles, I've seen them all. So I really want to see more signage, visual signage, not like one way, way up there or, you know, one small one over here, something that really, really is blatant that they can see, and some more police officer presence before somebody gets hurt. Got a lot of elderly, a lot of handicapped people trying to get across those streets, and they have to run. You know, they shouldn't have to run. And a little bit more police presence, like I said, and maybe contact with some of the truckers that are coming through here to go over to the warehouses that are on the opposite side of Bigmore. But on Euclid and on Pine, the signage is, on one side, there's no signs at all. So it's really important that something gets done before something really bad happens, you know. And the way you helped me with the street sweeping, I think we can work together and see if we can get something done there and slow them down a little bit.
Trucking is a problem, and I know our PD is just trying to do their best and all over it. The signage is an issue with Caltrans. We can't control Euclid signage, and it takes sometimes months to get signage changed on Euclid Avenue. But boy, we are aware of the truck problems, and you're right, they are everywhere, and they just disregard the law.
Mm-hmm. And they're so heavy. Well, when they're not carrying anything, that's when it's worse. Noise. They start about 3:30 in the morning. So when they're light, they're bouncing.
Yeah.
One of the issues I had, they shaking my shingles. So I had a leak. And it was only because the shingles had shifted. My neighbor just recently sold her home, and just as she was closing escrow, she had a major leak, and she lost it, but she didn't realize it. It was because the shingles had shifted, and it's like mini earthquakes, you know, and it doesn't take much to shift those shingles, and it's constant from 3:30 on. It's like a mini highway. So anything we can do, if you want to let me know, if I need to call Caltrans or something, or, you know, I don't mind advocating for it.
Do me a favor, give your information to
Okay.
Nick.
All right. And last but not least, I'd like to know where that petition is for the CIM. I saw you on the news. Great job. Thank you. But I would like to sign that petition if I can find it.
Go on cityofchino.org/CIM.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pardon me? Yeah, you can sign it online. Now, I believe we have some students in our audience, and we have a tradition here, and that is if we do have students who are here for their classes, we ask them to come up. She looks very meek. Come up and give your name, your school, and your subject that you're taking.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olivia Glendo. I attend Ontario Christian School. I am here for my government class. So, yeah.
And name of your teacher?
Mr. Zaidama.
Okay, thank you and welcome for coming this evening.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else in the audience have anything to address? Okay, then we will move on to our consent calendar. Do any council members wish to have any items removed? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion and a second, please. We have a motion from Councilman Flores, second from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Please vote. And the consent calendar passes unanimously. Under new business, item number 9, traffic signal installation at Eucalyptus and Fern Project, TR 240. Award a construction contract to Elector Belco Electric Company, Chino, California, in the amount of $1,146,360. And authorize $114,636 for construction project contingencies for a total contract not to exceed $1,260,996. Staff report this evening will be provided by Albert Espinoza, our city engineer, and Hygen Lee, our director of public works.
Thank you for the introduction, and good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. Tonight, I'll provide a project overview, a little historical timeline of how we arrived here today, and funding sources, and the next steps for construction. The project itself involves the installation of a new traffic signal at Eucalyptus and Fern Avenue, just located west of Euclid Avenue. And some of the project features will include new curb ramps and crosswalks to meet the latest requirements for accessibility, as well as direct pedestrian access for the neighborhood that lives just north of Constellation Park so they can head south. New conduit and fiber along Eucalyptus Avenue from Fern Avenue to Euclid. And we currently do have some conduit and fiber along Eucalyptus Avenue from San Antonio Avenue to Fern. And once the city acquires Euclid Avenue in the future from Caltrans, we hope to expand our fiber network and make it like a backbone for our infrastructure in the future. There will be some landscape modifications, which will need to occur for some visibility and line of sight issues for motorists, as well as a 2-inch grind and overlay and some striping updates for the new traffic signal. A little historical timeline of how we arrived here. As part of the University Park Community Development, Lennar Homes was responsible for the installation of the traffic signal at Fern and Eucalyptus. The Planning Commission conditionally approved the development back in December of 2015, and in July of 2018, the Planning Commission provided a developer modification to defer some of the public improvements because of the challenges that they were having with Caltrans along Euclid Avenue. And following that, final certificate of occupancy happened in November of 2018. In October of 2019, the city traffic engineer was requested to investigate an alternative to the traffic signal at Fern and Eucalyptus because some of the traffic volumes had not reached the levels per the traffic study that was provided by the developer's consultant. From 2020 to 2023, city staff worked with the developer's design team on plans and updates for accessibility of the curbs, and they were looking into an enhanced pedestrian crosswalk device. Ultimately, on May of 2023, the Infrastructure Committee recommended staff move forward with the original conditions of approval to install the traffic signal. City staff collaborated with the developer and the design team to discuss changes, again, due to the latest ADA curb ramp standards and some traffic design elements which ultimately delayed that installation of that traffic signal. Lennar Homes and the city did earlier this year enter into a settlement agreement with the developer, and they agreed to contribute just over $500,000 in exchange for the city to lead the construction of the new traffic signal. Regarding the funding sources, Measure I funds will cover the portion of the pavement work and will require an appropriation of $175,000. We'll also be using the citywide circulation diff for the construction of the project. The current adopted budget has $550,000, but will require an appropriation of $547,029 because the scope of work has expanded and the cost of construction has greatly increased from pre-pandemic cost estimates to now. The total project construction plus a 10% contingency and some current expenditures that we've already done for some design updates and bidding expenditures brings a total to $1,272,029. And as a side note to the council, the developer agreed payment of $553,500 was deposited into the citywide circulation diff. So our next steps, the Public Works team finalized the plans and specs for advertisement February of this year and had a mandatory pre-bid meeting early March. At the pre-bid meeting, 3 contractors were present, 3 bids were submitted, and Belco Electric Incorporated out of Chino, California, ultimately had the lowest responsible bid. If the award is approved tonight, city staff can start working with the contractor to get these submittals in for the fabrication of the traffic signal poles, because right now it's taking anywhere between 7 to 9 months to produce these. And we've already started our discussions with Southern California Edison. because we want to get that power source for the traffic signal dialed in now. So we're kind of jumping the gun a bit, but I want to make sure we deliver. And estimated, delivery and start of construction will be first quarter of 2025, just again, because of the fabrication and the long lead times for some of these materials. Once we do start the work, it's scheduled for 60 working days itself, pending that there's no weather delays when we start the new year. Staff recommends that the council award the traffic signal installation at Eucalyptus Avenue and Fern Avenue to Belco Electric, Inc. for a total not to exceed the $1,260,996, along with all the necessary and appropriations of the funds. This concludes my presentation, and staff is here to answer any questions.
Well, thank you. All I can say is I know both of you weren't here when this originally started and when we started meeting with the Infrastructure Committee in 2020. But I will say this is something that this community's wanted for a long time, because there's a park on the south side and everybody's been wanting to go to the park. And once the vehicles turn on from Euclid Avenue, there's not a stop sign or a signal until they get to San Antonio Avenue, and cars just race up and down the street. And there's a lot of elderly people that cross the street to try to get to the park, and because of the vehicles going so fast, there's been several residents that have complained that their elderly parents are almost hit by vehicles. Because of that, we brought it back in 2020. You guys obviously weren't around. And even during a council meeting, everybody up on this council said, let's move forward with the signal. And for some reason, the previous staff continued to push for a high visibility crosswalk. And as you know, it took a long time, but this is a perfect example of the slow wheels of city government. I just, initially, I think earlier in the year, they told us it was going to be late this year, that we would have everything, but now we're being told, because of the signal lights being delayed even longer, that it's not going to be until the beginning of next year. But I really want to press upon you guys that we really need to get this thing installed. The residents have been asking for it for a long, long time. It really will slow down the vehicles going up and down that street. I know the numbers that they have quoted there say that there's not enough traffic, but if you go there on a Monday or any time during the week, during regular, when people are going to work, that street is constantly busy. It's busy at 5 o'clock when people get off of work. It's busy when people are going to work. That is a major thoroughfare now, because people want to stay off of Addison Avenue because there's no trucks. And then we're even starting to experience that some of the trucks are starting to go down that street because they don't want to be on Addison Avenue either. So I really appreciate it, but I ask you guys to try to stick to this timeline, and get this thing done, because we started this in 2020 and we're now in 2024, and now we're looking at 2025. So I really, really appreciate it, and thank you guys for moving the project forward, and that's all I have.
Okay, any other comments? Curtis?
Thank you very much for getting this together. I understand we're going to get started at the beginning of 2025, and can you say when the project will be completed once again, anticipated?
Approximately 60 working days once they have all the equipment in place.
Okay, so give me an idea of when that will be.
Only March or April.
Yeah, it'll be in the springtime.
Spring of
2025.
Yes. We will have that in there. Everybody heard that.
Yes.
So I thank you very much for getting on this. As Councilmember Lucio had mentioned, this intersection is completely and totally impacted. And I can tell you right now, it's going to increase the traffic in that area from Euclid Avenue all the way to Chaffey College along Eucalyptus. We have a lot of things going on with the addition of Chaffey College. We have a church plan for that area as well, along with a commercial retail area. Traffic's going to be impacted on that street. A lot of people don't think so. Our staff didn't think so either, but I can tell you it's going to happen. This is long overdue. I appreciate your efforts, and we're really going to be following the project. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Okay, then I would entertain a motion and a second to approve item number 9. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is mayor and council reports. The first item I have is item number 10, which is the Community Support Fund. I usually save all of mine till the very last minute, and I've done it again, so the entire list is on the agenda. I won't go through all of it. Each council member has a pot of money to contribute to nonprofits within our communities. So I would encourage a motion and a second to approve item number 10. Motion from Councilman Flores, second from Councilman Lucio. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Now the rest of my report. On Wednesday, April 17th, it seems like it's been forever since we've been here, I attended the Omnitrans Plans and Program Committee meeting. I also filmed several mayor messages, and then that evening I attended the volunteer recognition dinner. 531 volunteers this last year donated over 31,000 hours of service to our community. The value of that time was $796,000. So volunteers are very important to our community. On Thursday, April 18th, I filmed an interview with KCAL regarding the situation at CIM. I also attended the Chino Unified School District meeting to present a certificate to them for achieving the Model Professional Learning Community at Work District by Solution Tree. CVUSC is one of only 2 school districts in the state of California to receive that award. Friday, April 19th, I attended the Southern California Water Coalition Board of Directors meeting and quarterly luncheon with our Public Works Director, Hygen Lee. Monday, April 22nd, I participated in a Zoom meeting with other council members regarding an effort to overturn districting for small communities. Wednesday, April 24th, I met with City Manager Reich and San Bernardino County Transportation Authority General Manager Ray Wolf regarding SBCTA's major projects and their efforts moving forward, helping us with some of our major transportation needs. Then, along with Councilman Burton and several staff members, attended a walking tour of several of the new homecoming units in the preserve. The tour was arranged by the Lewis Group of Companies, and it was very impressive, the units that we toured. Thursday, April 25th, I attended the Chino de Saltra Authority's Finance Committee meeting. Saturday, April 27th, I attended the amazing Corn Feed Car Run Show. Over 1,000 cars were registered. The weather was perfect. All the attendees had an amazing time. It's just so noteworthy that this car show started over 20 years ago, and it's chiefly run by Kiwanis, and they were told, oh, you'll have a couple of good years, and then it'll kind of peter out, and people won't come to it anymore, and instead it grows every year. But I have to say I was extremely disappointed that there was absolutely no coverage of it in our local newspaper, which was really, really disappointing. So I'm hoping that maybe this coming weekend they'll put something in their paper about it. Sunday, April 28th, I attended the Habitat for Humanity Community Builder Award event with Senators Susan Rubio and San Bernardino County Board of Supervisor Kurt Hagman. 2 Chino High School students were honored, Elena Rosen, who you met this evening, she was on our TAC, and also Jocelyn Delgado. Okay, then Monday, April 29th, I attended the celebration of life and a reception for Pastor Moses Rodriguez. He was, I think, 92 or 93 when he passed. He was an amazing man. He had helped so many people in his life. I know our police department had worked very closely with him on the You Choose program, which helps a lot of the disadvantaged kids. Man was amazing. Tuesday, April 30th, I met with Montclair Mayor John Dutray regarding the area's homeless issues. Then I attended the Chino Hills State of the City address. Wednesday, May 1st, I attended Omnitrans Board of Directors meeting. Their service is slowly recovering from the pandemic, and it's up to about 83% of their full service resumption. They're really hoping to get full service resumed by the end of fiscal year 2025. Their budget, their 24-25 total budget is over $149 million. And I think it would be interesting for the public to understand that it's heavily, heavily subsidized by state and federal funds. Only 6.5% is actually from paid fares. The rest of it is through grants and public and state funding. Thursday, May 2nd, attended the National Day of Prayer event held here on our City Hall steps and lawn. That was sponsored by Calvary Chapel, Chino Valley, it was also well attended. It's very rewarding to see people come out for that event. Then I attended the Chino DeSalter Authority Board of Directors meeting, and followed by the Inland Empire Utilities Agency Board of Directors meeting. Friday, May 3rd, I attended the Senior Center May birthday celebration. Last night, I attended the Rancho del Chino's bingo night, and again, for 40 years, I've never won at bingo. I'm never going to win at bingo. It's so frustrating. But I understand Tom Howie's wife won the very last blackout, which was nice. So congratulations to Karen. And then today, we had, I think, an outstanding press conference right here at City Hall with many of the TV stations in attendance. Our district attorney, Jason Anderson, spoke. Chief Menson spoke. Chino Hills Mayor Cynthia Moran, and then our Assistant Sheriff Tevis Newport also spoke. We had a very special guest, and that was Marianne Hughes. Marianne Hughes' son, Christopher, had spent a night with friends, and that, unfortunately, was the night that Kevin Cooper went on his killing spree and slaughtered the Ryan family and her son, Christopher. I think she gave a very impactful speech today, which certainly brought tears to my eyes. To lose an 11-year-old son to a murderer like that, and then discover him along with the family that he stayed overnight with. And then to know that we now have death row prisoners right here in our own local prison is just intolerable. So I think we did a really good press release, and I'm hoping that we get some reaction finally from our governor and from the Department of Corrections to either get those prisoners out of here or at least secure that prison. It's very, very run down. Way back in 2008, there was a report that was done that said that $28 million a year needed to be spent on that prison. If not, then by 2014, it should be demolished. Well, here we are 10 years later, and I doubt that they have put anything close to that in that prison. So we're pushing it hard and hoping to get some kind of reaction. We do have a petition online, and that's cityofchino.org/CIM. I would encourage everyone to go on our website, please, and sign that petition. Write letters. We have 2 addresses on there to write letters to the governor and also the head of CDC. Please join us in this fight. Those prisoners should not be there. You heard they're level 4. Our prison is a level 2. They have no business being here. So, okay. And then, of course, this evening we attended closed session before our council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. On April 17th through April 20th, I spent 4 days with our staff traveling to Sacramento for Cal Cities Week. And then the last 2 days I spent there, I'm a member of the League of California Cities Board. One of the things that always amazes me about Sacramento, Mayor, is they spend a lot of time sometimes instructing us or asking us how to manage our cities, particularly in the area of crime and homelessness or unsheltered population. And when you walk around the city of Sacramento, they're not the best example of either one of those subjects at all. So it's always interesting to me when that the office of the governor or his staff is busy reminding us how to manage our cities when it comes to those two critical issues in crime and the unsheltered population, that they're really not setting the best example on their own. But we met with several of our local elected officials, asking them for help about a myriad of different subjects, including the issue that's happening at CIM. I always believe that it's best to meet in person with our elected officials and share, express our concerns, and also help them when they ask us for help. That's the best way, because we're all in government together, and teamwork is what makes it happen. So thank you to the staff that traveled up there with me and helped with that challenging 4 days, but we got a lot accomplished in that 4 days, I do believe. I returned on Monday, April 22nd. I attended the Community Services Commission meeting here at City Hall, and one of the things I think was neat that came out of that meeting was also the recommendation for the naming of the new park in the Fallon Crest development, which will hopefully proceed through the Stuvey Family Park, honoring our agricultural heritage here in the city of Chino, which was spoken about earlier tonight by some of our speakers. On Saturday, April 27th, I attended the annual corn feed run here at City Hall. It's an amazing event. My dad and I try to attend it every year, and I just want to thank everybody who participated, our staff who helped coordinate it, of course, our police department who helped police it. Thank you all for your work. I know that's a long day, but it's a great community event, and it's a family event. You see a lot of people, a lot of car clubs come out with their families, and it's a show that I think is one of its kind, where people can actually come out and enjoy the day, have a nice day, get some good food, see some very beautiful cars. So also very happy that it didn't rain on any of those beautiful cars. On April 29th, I wasn't able to attend the ceremony, but I did attend the reception for Pastor Moses Rodriguez. The mayor commented on it earlier, but his family and his legacy is one of love. He's an amazing man. He was the founding pastor of New Beginnings Church here, who ministers to a very unique segment of our population. And the Rodriguez and Rodello legacy is strong and well and alive in this community, and largely in part because of a lot of his work. I've also had the honor of going to school with his son, Tim. They're just an amazing family, and I know that that his legacy and his work will continue on in this community. That brings me to today, where I also participated in the mutual agency media press release regarding the transfer of death row inmates to the California Institute for Men. I want to thank our community partners at the law enforcement level, at the elected level, our county supervisor. I mean, I know I'm going to miss somebody. Even our school district is here to support today on this issue. To the public, please help us with this issue. The mayor announced the website today that you can sign on to join our petition. We're not going to tire of this. I was sharing with Ms. Hughes today that I have just a little bit of a unique story in this. In 1983, when this incident happened with Mr. Cooper, I was actually in 8th grade at Ramona Junior High School in my history class. And at the time, I didn't know I was going to be a police officer, much less the chief of police. In fact, I thought I was going to be an English teacher. You fast forward several years later, and I later, as I proceeded through the ranks of the Chino Police Department, began writing letters of support for not just the Ryan family, but the Hughes family, to the governor's office to carry out the people's will in the matter of Kevin Cooper. And today, in listening to Ms. Hughes speak, not only did I know I would advocate for it at one point when I was a student at Ramona Junior High, but I watched the continued challenges and just the re-victimization of people like her when we don't carry out sentences, at the will of our courts and the people. It's terrible, but I was happy for her to be here today, Mayor. I think she had one of the most impactful statements today. You did a great job along with all the speakers, including the chief of police. So thank you for that. We will continue that fight and to make Sacramento hear our demands. The California Institute for Men is not fit for level 4 inmates, for level 4 death row inmates. And anybody that believes that it is, or anybody that believes that the state, what they tell us that it is, and that they're housing them in an electrified yard fence area for programming is wrong. And seeing is believing, and I have seen it. Lastly, I just want to say congratulations to the Duncan family. I've said it before, but Glenn was a great man. It's a great honor for him tonight to be inducted into our local Hall of Fame committee and for his picture to hang at the community building so that his legacy can continue on. And also, Mayor, you were exactly right with those young men and women from the TAC committee and to our graduating seniors, congratulations to them. I do believe the future is in great hands when you look at young men and women like that. In fact, I often believe we should focus more on some of the good things that are being done in our community, which is why I do enjoy ceremonials at the beginning of the meeting so much. And I will end, Mayor, to you and all the mothers in the audience and in our community. Happy Mother's Day. Celebrate your moms. Honor them. I'm still fortunate to have mine with us. We will be celebrating her this weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And that concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Karen. Councilman Burton, you have number 11, the Community Support Fund.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, very much. I am requesting the approval of community support funds to go to the Food for Life Ministry, as well as the Trail Life Troop 2678, and to Rancho del Chino. And I would also request monies in the future to go to Chaffey College for their golf tournament. The remainder of my funds, whatever I have left in there, I'd like to donate to the golf tournament.
Okay, we need a motion and a second, please, for item number 11.
And just to clarify, council member, you'd like to amend this request to add that additional?
Well, I know I can't add it now, but I'm requesting.
Oh, okay, thank you.
For the next time. And I said that because I know Ms. Parsons is in the audience. I want her to know that she's going to get some money for the golf tournament.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Flores, second from Councilman Lucio. Please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Your report, please.
Thank you very much, Mayor. On April 17th through the 19th, I also went to Sacramento with the Mayor Pro Tem along with Council Member Flores and our staff. We met with various legislators up there, a senator, assembly member to talk about laws in our area, Prop 47, the amendments of different things that we believe need to occur. We also met with the representatives, the director specifically of CDCR, California Department of Rehabilitation Center, in reference to the death row inmates. And I need to mention this because I want everybody to know that I was extremely disappointed with their response and also their behavior with us. It was horrible. And it's a direct, in my opinion, a direct reflection of our governor and his office and what they're doing and the types of laws that they're trying to push down onto the local cities. It was horrible at best. We remained professional as the city, as you can well imagine. We represent our citizens, our business owners, our stakeholders in this city. We expressed our concerns, and it basically fell upon deaf ears, and they told us we were going to get more death row inmates, basically whether we liked it or not. And it was a shame, and I want everybody to know that. And it was just not a good meeting, and we walked out of there, and we just thought, you know, we really need to touch base with our community, because everybody needs to understand how important this is to get in touch with our state officials, sign that petition, get involved, because we all need to support one another to make sure that this takes care of itself. And if it's just fortifying that institution, well, then we need to make sure that happens. Level 2, folks, this is what our prison was built for back in 1941, level 2. You heard that it was in disrepair, so that tells me that it doesn't even rise to the level of a level 2 anymore, maybe a level 1 at best, and they're putting level 4 inmates into that facility. So I want to share that with you, and I wanted to just share with you a little bit about our experience up there with CDCR, our experience with Senator Rubio, along with Assembly Member Freddie Rodriguez and Senator Sayardo, outstanding relationships that we have with them. They're to be commended for their professionalism. I will not say that for CDCR and the director. Moving on the 22nd, my one-on-one with our city manager. I also had a meeting with the city consultant in reference to an upcoming workshop, and then I attended the Community Service Parks and Recreation meeting after that. On the 23rd, I attended a roundtable with Senator Young Kim. The 24th, Mayor Pro Tem and I met with a resident here at City Hall in regards to the Downtown Civic Center Master Plan. And then on the 27th, I attended the corn feed run. I had the opportunity to volunteer for the Kiwanis Club. So I was here at 3:30 in the morning with our city manager and others on this council. And we had a great time out there in the middle of Central Avenue directing traffic and inhaling the fumes of these old 19 whatever cars. But I'll tell you what, folks, what a great time, a great family event. After my portion was done, I went home, picked up my 6-year-old grandson. We came back and we just had a great time. Really a lot of fun. On the 29th, I met with representatives from SBCTA. I later went to a water meeting with our staff, and Dave Crosley and Natalie. I just continue to thank you for educating me and probably Councilmember Flores as well as to what our water is all about. Thank you for the time that you put in. We really appreciate it. And then I had my one-on-one weekly meeting with the city manager. On May 2nd, I attended the National Day of Prayer here at the Civic Center. And then on the 4th, on Saturday, I had the honor of being present at the opening day of the 33rd Annual Corporate Challenge. And I've got to tell you on that as well, what an outstanding event that is. It's going on for a couple of weeks now. And I want to commend our staff, our community services staff. They work their tails off out there. They just do a tremendous job, and they don't stop. They're like the Energizer bunnies, and they move around and they just get business taken care of, and I want to thank our staff for that. On the 6th, I had my one-on-one with the city manager, and then today, the 7th, I met with a resident here in town with our staff, and then closed session prior to the city council meeting. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Flores, you have item number 12, Community Support Fund.
Yes, yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm asking for the council to consider approval for community support contributions of $250 to the Rancho del Chino Rotary Club.
Okay, we need a motion and a second. It's a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Your report?
Yes, thank you for that. Those $250 were, that's for the bingo that they just had yesterday. So I'm making the petition now, Mayor. Those $250 you're gonna win next year at bingo.
Yeah, right. I don't think so.
So, yeah, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been pretty busy, but I'm just gonna highlight a few things that are on my heart. The car show, great turnout. I thought the flow of traffic was probably the best I've ever seen. So again, shout out to our staff for that. Walt, you did an amazing job, and I'm praying for you. Mr. Duncan, I never really met Mr. Duncan, and I didn't have a chance to work with him, but I heard something today that really kind of struck my heart, and somebody mentioned that his, I guess, motto was work less and serve more, and when I heard that, it just kind of tugged at my heart a little bit, because I just feel that that's, those words are callings from up above, and, I feel like that's relatable to my life. Elena Rawson, she was introduced earlier, and one thing she didn't mention, and maybe some people in this room know or don't know, but she was accepted into her dream college, Notre Dame, so I also want to give her a huge congratulations to that acceptance. Pastor Moses, I had a chance to meet him over the last couple years and get to know him a little. One thing that I learned at his service this past week was that he loved to send letters. I didn't know that, and I'll tell you one thing. I received a letter when I got on the council, so I was appreciative of that. But that letter specifically was different from every other letter I received, because most other letters were talking about, serve the city well, serve the people well. And his letter said, serve God well. And, that, again, struck a chord. So I again, rest in peace to Pastor Moses. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And this Friday, I'm in the competitions this week, and this Friday I'm gonna be rowing a boat. So 4 o'clock, you guys come out. I don't see Rob out there in the audience right now, so I'm kind of scared because he's my buddy. So we'll see.
Where are you going to row this boat?
This is gonna be at the YMCA.
And in the pool?
In the pool.
Right.
Yes.
So you're not like in the ocean or a river?
I hope not.
Okay, great. Councilman Lucio.
Yes, on 423 and 424, I took a 16-hour class for disaster management for electrical power systems, and just really kind of let you know that once your power goes out, all systems will fail, including water and everything else. So I just really want to emphasize that I hope we have the right generators and gas and contracts that we will continue to get gas, and a system in place that if our electricity goes down, especially with Edison being in here, that we really prioritize on getting our power system back up, because without it, we're not going to do well. So that was a 16-hour class. On the 27th, I attended the corn feed run. On April 30th through May 1st, I also attended a 16-hour class on disaster management for public service. And it kind of just dovetailed on what our roles and responsibilities are during disasters, and what we as public servants should be doing to try to make it less impactful for our communities. So it was a good class. On April 30th, I attended a meeting with the city manager via phone, because I had to commute to LA for that class, so we were able to talk before I got there. On May 2nd and May 3rd, I attended the SCAG conference in Palm Springs. I had some good conversations with some other elected officials from other cities about the Pine Avenue connection, as well as some homeless issues that they want to kind of focus on a regional effort to try to solve this, and then just want to partner with several cities. On the 6th, I attended the Knights of Columbus golf tournament. Earlier today, I had another meeting with the city manager. And then we also had a meeting with the mayor, and then looking at hopefully getting some agricultural land. So we are trying to identify, potentially doing that here in our community. And then I also want to address some of the things that I see on social media. I look at some of the things that people talk about, and they say, well, hey, there's already lifers there at the Chino prison. What's the difference between a lifer and a person on death row? So let's talk about it a little bit. So in 2020, just to give you an idea, over 2,000 murders occurred in the state of California. The death row, or death penalty, was reinstituted. In 1972, it was abolished by Rose Byrd and the California Supreme Court. 5 years later, it was overturned, and it was re-implemented in 1977. So that's 47 years. So in 47 years, with over 1,000 murders, if not more, every single year occurring in California, only 650 people have been sentenced to death in the state of California. Why? Because in order to be classified for death, you have to have a special circumstances, special allegations when you come on the commission of this murder. So it's either going to be a rape while committing a murder, it can be a mass murder, it can be a killing of a police officer, it can be such a brutal murder that they feel that death is something that you should be put to, or it can be a person that just has such a heinous criminal record that they said that, this person is no longer somebody that should be back in society, so therefore we're going to recommend death. And when a person is tried for the death penalty, not only is he convicted of the crime that he did, but then there's also a penalty phase where the district attorney has to prove that the death penalty in this particular case is warranted. And they listen to that, they vote on that, and they make the decision that the death penalty should be implemented on the individual. So when you look at these individuals, they truly are the worst of the worst. They're not a person that committed a murder that wasn't heinous. It's not a person that committed a crime that, oh, you know what, we just charged them with death. That doesn't happen. These are the worst of the worst, and that's why they're segregated. That's why they're placed in individual cells. That's why they're waist chained and handcuffed everywhere they go. But to put groups like this, 20 or more in a yard with nothing to lose, they can kill a guard, they can break into homes if they get out of prison and kill more people. At the end of the day, there is nothing more you can do to these individuals that they haven't already been sentenced to. And to think that, well, they're just another lifer, you're mistaking. These people have nothing to lose. They're the worst of the worst, and that's why they were sentenced to what they were sentenced to. So don't listen to these people on social media that really don't know what they're talking about when they think a death row inmate is just another inmate. He's not. There was 630 males that were put on death row, 20 females since 1977. So just realize that these are the worst, and don't take this lightly. These people have nothing to lose. They never thought they were going to get out of prison. And trust me when I tell you this, in dealing with inmates in the county jail, when I worked the county jail, these individuals are thinking of ways of how to get out of prison right now as we speak. And that's all I have.
You know, another point is CIM is in disrepair, to say the least. But the state, in all of its wisdom, has decided to put Wi-Fi in the prison and give the prisoners tablets. Now, supposedly, they're going to oversee these prisoners so that they don't communicate with the public, but what's the population at CIM right now, CIM?
22?
2,200?
Around there?
Just over 2,200, and they're at 138% capacity. So they're overcrowded. Now they have tablets, and you cannot tell me that they can be overseen to make sure they don't communicate with the outside world. So my horrible imagination goes wild sometimes thinking, what are they going to arrange? What are they going to do? I failed to mention that Congresswoman Norma Torres called me today after the press interview that we did, and she has been trying to communicate with the Corrections Department to get information, and they won't return her calls. Now that's a congressperson that can't get cooperation and information from them. So this is not a good situation, folks. Please, please, please go on our website and sign the petition and write your letters. We need to stop this. City Manager Reich.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. May 5th through May 11th is Professional Municipal Clerks Week. So I would like to thank our clerk, Natalie Gonzaga, and our deputy clerk, Maritza Sanchez, for all the work they do to make sure that these meetings run smoothly, every single council meeting. I know they don't want to say anything. Next, you've all talked about the Corn Feed Run. As a proud Kiwanian for the last 20-plus years, it's a fantastic event. We work really hard. I want to thank our City of Chino team, Police Department, Public Works, and all the people who came and volunteered for that event. It is truly a community event. Everyone comes. So thank you to our team for helping with traffic control and everything. And this year, I think some of you said it, In and Out was much better than it's ever been, and that's because our traffic unit got involved this year and really helped us figure out In and Out. So that was fantastic. Corporate Challenge is underway, so please, we need to win, because I am not going to the Chino Hills Council meeting and giving that chicken back. So everyone who's listening, and hopefully it's not Ben, Chino Hills, don't tell him I said that, but we have to win.
Linda,
Yes.
you might want to explain to the public what the chicken is.
So Corporate Challenge, as we've said, we've got 11 teams this year from our community, and it's a Olympic-style event where different organizations compete in different events over a 2-week span. So we have a friendly rivalry between our friends in Chino Hills. So a few years ago, we made a trophy that says Winner, Winner, Chicken Dinner. So whichever city comes in higher in Corporate Challenge is the winner, winner, chicken dinner. And the other city manager has to present that trophy at a council meeting.
Which is
Uh,
a rubber chicken.
It's a rubber chicken. It's a chicken, and it's on a plaque, and I don't want to do that. So we're doing really well. We just got, Chino Hills was eliminated out of basketball just now, so we're really pleased with that. So that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. City Attorney Galante.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And I know I reported this to the council, but I thought for the benefit of the public, our office handled a case against the state of California on one of these various laws that are intended to foster affordable housing, but have caused a lot of concern by cities. In this particular case, it's SB 9, which basically requires cities to approve lot splits on a single-family home and allow for 2 homes irrespective of your minimum lot size requirements and certain other municipal requirements. The lawsuit was brought on behalf of several charter cities, and the thought was that charter cities have the right to assert certain powers that, so long as they don't conflict with state law, the state cannot impede on those. They're called municipal affairs. That was one of the various arguments we raised in the lawsuit. Fundamentally, the lawsuits, the statute, SB 9, says it applies to charter cities irrespective of their own municipal affairs because there's this overriding state interest in fostering affordable housing. Well, the court in Los Angeles County Superior Court found in favor of the cities, essentially finding that law does not reasonably support the stated goal of yielding affordable housing, nor is it narrowly tailored enough to really target that mission. And the nice thing about that ruling is that it's broad enough to potentially be expanded to general law cities. So I thought that was a significant victory to help protect local control over land use issues, despite all these various laws that have been handed down.
So go beyond the legalese. Can we not comply with SB 9?
At this point, there hasn't been what's called just an injunction to prevent enforcement, and it's really just applicable to those charter cities.
Can we change to be a charter city?
Well, yes. Any general law city can proceed to change to become a charter law city. There's a process. You have to have a couple public hearings and then put it on the ballot, the actual proposed charter on the ballot for your residents to approve, and that converts you to a charter city if the voters agree. The state has indicated its intent to appeal the decision. I think the decision is well reasoned, so we have a good level of confidence that the trial court's decision is correct. But we also believe general law cities will proceed to make the same arguments based on that precedent if it stands in the Court of Appeal.
So there still may be hope for us.
Yep.
Good. That's good news. Thank you,
That's
Fred.
all I have. Thank you.
Okay, now our chief of police, Kevin Menson, is at his son's baseball game, the last one, I guess, of this season. So tonight we have our assistant chief of police, Andy Bielton.
Sadly, Mayor, it was the last one. They did lose, so they will not have another
did?
one.
Oh,
So,
Kevin was hoping they would win.
yes.
Knock on it.
But he gets to play pickleball on Friday with Nick, so he's happy about that, and
Oh,
corporate
boy.
challenge. Oh, and,
Oh, and Karen's gonna
yeah,
play
Karen's gonna play
pickleball?
also. You need to get the chicken.
Okay.
There's 3 things I'd like to talk about tonight, and the first one is I want to thank you all. On behalf of the men and women of the Chino Police Department, your leadership on this issue, the way you've taken an all-hands-on-deck approach to the state putting death row in a residential community has been nothing short of impressive. I know the public isn't privy to the hours that you've put in, the time that you spent with different legislators in Sacramento, the meetings that you've had with members of our community, the press conferences you've had. I think there's been half a dozen already in just a short amount of time since we found out that death row had come to Chino. And I want to assure you and the public that the police department has prepared for this now as well. Our officers are trained on prison response. We have contingencies when those prisoners are moved to other parts of the city, and we are taking it seriously as well. So as you fight the good fight in Sacramento, we're protecting our community here, and we're doing everything we can to help you keep us safe. In that vein, the second thing I want to talk about is a crime trend that we have seen increase in frequency and sophistication. Earlier today, our crime prevention unit gave a presentation to some of our seniors, about 50 of them at our senior center, to warn them about confidence scams. We are seeing a lot of our residents become victims of these clever scams. There's 4 in particular that we've seen a rise in. The first is phishing. This is when the scammers will send a suspicious email. They will pretend to be Microsoft. They can pretend to be Kaiser. They can pretend to be anybody, and they get you to believe that you're communicating with a legitimate company. Instead, you're giving all your information to the scammers, who can then steal your identity, drain your bank accounts. So if members of our community get these suspicious emails from legitimate sources, please do your due diligence and make sure you're actually communicating with the company. Most of those emails that are legitimate will have ways to contact the company telephonically. The second,
Andy,
yes.
give a little bit of advice to people who maybe don't understand what you're talking about. How do they ensure that who's sending the email is really who they are?
Call the people who they are pretending to be.
Okay.
So if you get a suspicious email from Microsoft asking you to give them permission to contact your computer and take it over to fix a virus problem or something similar, don't trust it over the computer. Call Microsoft, call their support center, and make sure it's actually happening.
So don't respond to those kind of emails.
Not without verifying in person with an actual Microsoft representative.
No, Andy, also, they may also leave a number, but don't call that number on that email because they'll pretend to be Microsoft. Go on, if you have, let's say you have a banking with Chase and you get an email from Chase and it says, call this number, don't call that number. Go on, log off, go on to the actual website of Chase and get a number from there, because otherwise people will pretend to be that company.
Excellent point. You can't trust anything on that suspicious email.
The other thing too is sometimes it locks up your computer so you can't go anywhere else. That's happened to my husband before, and I've told him, shut it down, just
Yep.
shut it down.
Absolutely. When that happens, shut your computer down and then call your internet provider or whoever else that may have been compromised that allowed them access to you.
Okay.
So the computer ones are sophisticated, but there's other ones that are very common now too. One that we have people fall prey to is the lottery sweepstakes stock market crypto scam. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. If they say I've won the lottery, you can have your share of it, I just need a down payment of blank, they're lying to you. If you win the lottery, you don't have to pay the state to get your earnings. They just give those to you. But there's more sophisticated ones that take advantage of people with stock schemes, gold bars, things of that nature. In the news just recently, a very sophisticated financial journalist was taken for $50,000 by scammers who convinced her to bring cash to meet up with a CIA agent and gave it to them in a shoebox. This isn't an old person with dementia. This is a sophisticated journalist who fell prey to these. If it's too good to be true, it is. Do not fall for the sweepstakes scams. And then the one that's really pernicious, and we've seen these happen in Chino, are the virtual kidnappings. These are the ones where the people have done research on you and your family, and they target parents and grandparents, and they pretend to be children or grandchildren in distress, either kidnapped or in jail, and they even use artificial intelligence to copy the voices of their loved ones. and they convinced them to send a ransom or bail money to get their loved ones out of jail. If you get some horrific call like this, where they're claiming that your loved one has been kidnapped and you have to pay a ransom, call your loved one. Call the person they say they have kidnapped immediately and get a hold of them, because 99% of the time they're just fine and they don't know what you're talking about, and it's a scam. And this one is becoming much more common. So
Would it be okay, Andy, if somebody gets a suspicious call or a suspicious email or whatever, can they call PD?
absolutely, call us right away. Don't hesitate.
And that number is 909-628-1223.
Oh, in that case, call 911.
Oh, call 911?
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody's trying to allege they have one of your family members kidnapped or doing these scams, call 911. We'll respond right away.
Okay. Now, if it's a computer type thing, though, you want them to call a 628-1234 number,
The
right?
non-emergency number would be
Right.
appropriate in that case, yes.
Okay.
So those trends are increasing. The final thing I'd like to talk about tonight is next week is Police Week. On May 15th, that's actually designated as the Police Officers Memorial Day. Here in Chino, we've lost 3 officers, Fred Bristol in 1901, Charles Keller in 1916, and Officer Russ Miller in 2000. So during this week, we honor their memories and the memories of all the fallen officers. During that week, there's different celebrations and remembrances of their lives that were lost, and we'd just like to take time out next week to remember those sacrifices. And if there's nothing further, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. Karen?
Deputy Chief? That's okay. I just want to tell you thank you for discussing some of those scams. Some of them aren't, what's old is new sometimes, but even one of my close family members almost recently fell victim to one of those trust scams. I just think the more we can talk about it and get the word out there, hopefully we can prevent the next victim. That is one of the strategies in preventing crime to begin with, is educating victims. So thank you for bringing those up tonight, and thank you for continuing to honor the memory of our slain police officers at the Chino Police Department.
Thank you very much.
Chief Williams?
Good evening. The only thing I have tonight is I just want to provide a reminder that our groundbreaking ceremony is May 30th for our Fire Station 68 at the T-Bone intersection of Pipeline and Sokol Canyon. We're really excited about it, and that's all I have, unless you have any questions. And I'm not a betting man, but if I were, Ms. Comstock, you'll take them in pickleball, and if I was betting, I would be betting on you.
I'll try not to disappoint.
Okay, with that, we are adjourned to our next regular meeting, which we held on May 21st at 6 o'clock, with closed session starting no earlier than 4 if we need to. We are adjourned.